Hey everyone, Natalie Antonov here again with Gable Music Ventures. We've got another interview for you today. We're trying to bring you experts from all sorts of industries to get your music career going a little bit faster, a little bit more efficiently. Today we have with us Desiree Haney. Desiree is a multi-instrumentalist, a singer, songwriter, and an entrepreneur. She spent time working with the Philadelphia Folksong Society. She was a member of the Philly band foot-stomping, awesome band, Horse Motel. She now owns Wolf Tone Artists, which is her management and booking agency. So we are really excited to talk to Desiree today. Let's get this going. Hey Desiree, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I love the face paint.
Thank you.
Awesome. Is there a meaning to that? Just wondering.
It has like a double meaning. It started out kind of like a war paint, equal rights kind of thing. And then I learned about my indigenous heritage. So it's just kind of taken on new meaning and it's evolving.
That's very cool. That's awesome. I love when people have kind of like a unique stamp to their look and what they do, you know?
A lot of people in the music industry don't really know me if I don't wear this. So it also helps if you're at a conference and you just want to like roll out of bed and go get breakfast. You just don't put it on and you like put a hat on and nobody knows. It's fine.
That's awesome. Great tip. I'm going to have to start putting the paint on so people get confused and think I'm somebody I'm not. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, so you have quite the record of owning businesses and having all sorts of jobs: dog walking, electrician, carpenter, to name a few. You've owned a restaurant and a pet sitting business, but music seems to be a constant in your life. How did you get your start musically, and how did you know that was kind of what was going to take you through till now?
Well, let's see. When I was 7, I begged my parents for piano lessons. There's an old dusty piano upright in the corner. And my dad said that I could get lessons if I played basketball, which I did. I hated it, but I did it. So for a year or two, I took lessons as a kid, and then those stopped, and I just continued to teach myself because I don't know, it was in me. I knew I had to do it. And then when I moved out of my parents' house, like the piano was not very portable. So I picked up some crappy little guitar and I taught myself that by listening to Ani DeFranco's Living in Clip album. And then along the way, I just kind of picked up whatever instrument people were throwing out. And I tried out for my first band in Columbus, Ohio when I was 19. Didn't get it, but really wanted to be in a band. And then I moved to Philly and I tried out for a wedding band in Jersey. That's a long story, but the bass player looked like Danny DeVito. There was like a killer chihuahua in the trailer. It's a really great story, but anyway, didn't get into that band, darn. And then I went to an open mic at Fergie's. So I was probably just turned 21 and saw a girl named Nikki Jane play and loved her stuff so much that I just went up to her and said, have you considered playing with other people? And like right from there, I became keys and bass for her. And then that turned into the like punk cabaret goth duo. And then we added a whole band and played some pretty big shows with that. And then as bands do, sometimes people don't get along and we broke up, but that's what kicked everything off. But I knew I needed to be in a band. Yep.
It was in the whole time. You knew it the whole time, huh?
Yeah.
Well, all right. So out of all the instruments you did learn over that time, you ended up sticking with the cello. You named your cello.
Yeah. Yep.
What is his name?
So the current one, which if anybody has seen it, it's like white and splattered with paint. Her name is Ruth, which was my grandmother's name, and she was a very bright person and super positive and just made everyone happy. So that was fitting. I have 2 other cellos, and the red one is Egret. Any Game of Thrones fans will understand that one.
I was thinking about that real quick there. That's really
Egret, the beautiful redhead, and the black cello is called the Precious.
Ooh, good. All right. Very strong names. Very cool. Very cool. I have yet to name any instrument that I own, so maybe I'll take into that.
Yeah, I highly suggest it.
Awesome. Do you so with all of this learning instruments on your own kind of thing, did you say you took lessons, or did you not take lessons?
Not for cello, not for anything except piano when I was 7. Cello, I learned, that's the most recent instrument. I didn't even start in Black Horse Motel on the cello. I started on keys, and I had this like crappy learner cello in my closet that someone gave me, and the band found it probably a year into playing with them. They found it in my closet, and they were like, yo, you gotta play this. And I was like, I don't know how to play this. Figure it out. So I did.
Got it. So, okay, so that's like, you've gone the whole learn it yourself kind of route. A lot of people might think that they need to take lessons, but maybe they don't have the money or something like that. Is there any advice you'd give them on how to do this learning yourself?
YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube. I learned how to rewire an entire house on YouTube. You can do it. And it's like, you don't have the pressure of, the money. It's a lot of money to get lessons, but also the pressure of somebody else like looking at you while you're trying to learn it. So for us introverts, that's the way to go.
Yeah, you know what? I can see that. I can see that being a thing. I remember getting lessons when I was younger too. And I'm not really like an outward performer. So I'd say that, yeah, that would probably make it more sense for me. We didn't have that back then, though.
No, we didn't.
So, yeah. Anyway, so you were talking a little bit earlier about your goth cabaret ensembles. You've opened for artists like the Dresden Dolls and Regina Spektor. You've played punk. Obviously, Black Horse Motel was folk and that bluegrass rock kind of thing. What do you tell people who are kind of stuck in their own genre about, maybe moving out and exploring new genres?
I think the 2 best things you can do to do that are play open mics and jam with other people. If you can improvise and learn how to improvise, then you can play with anybody and you'll have fun playing anything.
So is there a reason why you particularly branched out so much instead of kind of keeping yourself in one spot?
Well, the first band, the goth one, I wasn't into goth, but I wanted to be in a band so bad. And then I loved her singing voice. So I took on the persona, which a lot of people who have a shtick do. And it worked. And then the all-girl punk band, that was my thing back then. So that was easy. And then folk wasn't my thing. Black Horse Motel just they sounded good and I wanted to play with them, but I didn't know anything about folk music. So I had to learn all from Galen and Ryan really in the band. Like we all brought such a different genre background with us. I think that's what made us unique. And I don't know, everybody should play every genre. Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Mm-hmm. And is it so basically, it's not more of I don't know how to do it doesn't mean someone else can't help you. You clearly said that your bandmates kind of helped you through this. So it's not like you have to know something about another genre in order to play it. It's more so yourself kind of stopping yourself from doing that, if that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I think what helps a lot is as long as everyone has an open mind to everyone's favorite type of music. If you come to band practice and you're like, I want to make something that sounds like this, and everybody can just go listen to that song and kind of study it and work on it. Cool. And then put your own twist on it.
Now, you obviously have been in many successful bands. A lot of artists it's hard for them to even find one successful band to be in. But I mean, Black Horse Motel, for example, lasted 10 years at least, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. When do you know when it's time to move on to the next project in your life?
That is going to depend on what your personal definition of success is. And unfortunately, our country doesn't super support the arts, and becoming a touring band is really difficult, and especially as you get older, and people need day jobs. And so unfortunately, you kind of have to say, like, can the band go on tour? And if not, can it live doing what it's doing? And if you want to play locally, like forever, occasionally, then you can keep doing what you're doing forever. But if you can't take the leap of faith to go on tour, then it's kind of nowhere for a band to go. And that's kind of what happened with Black Horse Motel. And it's a bummer, because we were awesome and we put in a lot of time and we really loved it, but there wasn't anywhere for us to go.
Makes sense. What's the hardest part for you personally about touring?
Well, I was the only one in Black Horse Motel that was able to take that leap of faith, just totally circumstantial with the way that my life came together at that moment. And the hardest part for me, there was no hard part at the time. I wanted to do it. So the hardest part was stepping away from Black Horse Motel and doing it with somebody else, because I really wanted to do it with them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's sometimes hard to do that, but you got to do what you got to do, right? Yep. Now, your work in the past with the Philadelphia Folksong Society, they have a co-op, a music co-op there. Tell me a little bit about co-ops. Just explain to everyone watching, like what a music co-op is, what it does, what's its importance, both in the larger picture and maybe to you personally.
Right. So the Philly Music Co-op, I think, is fairly unique in that everyone that I've met from other cities, from our country and other countries, have said, that's so cool, I wish we had that in our city. So I have yet to meet someone who has the same kind of thing going on. Specifically the Philly one is a professional development organization. So it's a application to get in, and then if you get accepted, there's a yearly fee, and that yearly fee helps to covering more opportunities for you. So there's networking and there's professional development, like stage presence and a whole list of things that it's kind of not for the super beginning of your career, but it's also people who are pretty deep into their career. It might not be for them either. It's kind of mid-range, will help you take it to the next level.
Interesting. And do you suggest that's something that, any kind of, middle range artist, do you suggest is that someone they should do? Like everyone should try and join one of these at some point in their career?
I think so. I think if you're a local artist that is playing shows locally already, and you're not on tour yet, and you want better local shows, it's a super good opportunity. And if you're a solo artist and you maybe want to collaborate or start a band, it's a really good place to meet other musicians.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like you said, there's a lot of networking in those, and it's kind of, I think nowadays with internet like Instagram and Facebook and social media, people forget that you can network in real life. I mean, aside from okay, let's forget, let's, out of pandemic world, you can go places and meet people. And this is one of those types of organizations where you could do that and network and meet people other than just, sending random DMs and hoping people will collab with you, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
I do want to add that there is another organization in Philly called Philly Music Lab that when I was running the co-op, we partnered with. They're sort of the same kind of thing, only they're more about just performance opportunities and not the whole network and professional development part of it. But they're trying to do the same thing. So together we were like because Philly Music Co-op has traditionally been mostly folk artists because it's under the Folksong Society. But I was trying to expand that because it doesn't specifically say folk in it, and it should be all artists. So together with Philly Music Lab, we're kind of expanding the genres. So people might want to check those too.
Okay, cool. Thanks. No, that's awesome. We'll try and put that in the comments below so that people can click the link and go find it. Can you tell us a little bit about how you transitioned into the world of booking and artist management, and what kind of sparked your big project in owning, Wolf Tone artists?
Sure. Yeah. So I wasn't really intending to do that. I had been booking Black Horse Motel so long that I've just kind of picked up a bunch of contacts and relationships. And then one of my Canadian friends who I met a lot of people through the Folksong Society by going to conferences, and a lot of Canadians. And one of my Canadian friends had a US booking agent that did a terrible job for her. And she just basically was like, do you think you could do better than him? And I was like, I can't do worse. So I gave it a shot, and we booked a full US, mostly Northeast US tour, because that's where my contacts are. And through that process, I learned so much about working with Canadian management and working with their visa process that it started kind of getting out to other people from those conferences that I was doing that work and helping Canadians come here. And without me even trying, they just all started reaching out to me. And then, like, to make things even better, their government actually funds the arts. So they can pay me proper. And then they want me to go play cello with them because they don't have to get another visa because I'm already a citizen here. So it was kind of just like a perfect combination of things happened. Now I'm not allowed in Canada right now, but
COVID thing?
Yeah, COVID, not for any other reason. Yeah, so, and they're not allowed here. So that's kind of off the plate right now, but that's how it all happened. And I've had some US people ask for help, and I'm totally willing to do that for US people, but I can't get them the money that they want because they don't have that support from their government.
Got it. So that's just a really integral piece of this puzzle.
Yeah, because so Canadians are able to take shows that don't pay as much because they have that subsidy from their government helping them go on tour.
Interesting. I never knew that. Thank you for shedding light on.
Now we should try to get our government to start something like that.
Put that thought in people's heads. Let's see what happens. Speaking of which, COVID-19, now that you're saying, they can't come here and you can't go there, how else has it impacted your career, your music, and all that?
Well, I was on tour with Canadian band Moonfruits for 1 week, and that was in March. And on March 12th, we played our last show in upstate New York, and everything got canceled and we got sent home. They had to take off as fast as they could to make it past the border. Wow. Before we closed it. And that's it for me, because I'm a hired musician. Like, I don't do solo stuff. I mean, I have like some solo stuff I do for fun, but I can't play Zoom shows or any live stuff because my bands are all in Canada. So I am a contractor right now.
Okay.
And then when some people didn't really want contractors in their house, I was delivering groceries for Instacart. So I'm a hustler. I'll do whatever I need to do.
Yo, gotta do what you gotta do. No,
the music is in me, and I will never stop playing music.
Well, we don't want you to stop playing music. So that's good to hear. But, you know, at the same time, everybody's kind of had to change and adapt, and, you know, having the wherewithal to be able to be a contractor and do that delivery service thing and not let it really affect you as far as, like, you know, your future plans. It's not like you're now forever a food delivery person. You know, I mean, like, you still have your music, you still have the business plan and moving forward with Wolf Tone and everything. And when this all kind of starts going back to normal, you know, you're back on that, but you have to do what you have to do. And I think just that fact alone and being able to handle that is actually, like, really strong, you know, mental health wise. I mean, to be able to
I want everybody to know, though, it's not easy, and I totally empathize with everyone in this situation. And I have had several breakdowns about it, and which I'm sure plenty of us have. And I just think it's really important for everyone to be easy on themselves, be gentle, because it's going to be a while, unfortunately. So we all have to figure out the best way to get through this. But I think when we come out on the other side, it's going to be huge. Everyone's going to be so excited to go to concerts.
Yes.
We're going to be playing so much.
On our side, like Gable, we can't wait to be on site, you know, at one of our festivals, at one of our shows, and be able to feel, you know, the energy and enthusiasm that's going to be coming. We're just, like, that's what we're keeping our eye on. That's our return. We put together the events, we book the artists, we make the events happen. Our return is to sit there and watch everyone enjoy it, and we can't wait for that. So, you know, gotta hold on to something positive there, you know.
Yep.
Absolutely. So now, you know, a lot of successful people like yourself, who are resilient and able to bounce around and do what they need to do, they have routines. Sometimes they meditate, or they have journaling or something like that. You know, do you have anything you do on a day-to-day basis that kind of helps you kind of just level out and keep pushing forward?
I eat a lot of snacks, and I play video games.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, if it keeps you going, that's what you got to do.
It does. And then that's also, like, a place to be social. I mean, I spend most of my time either saying, yes, I'm a girl, or just ignoring the question. And
what? Why would they ask you if you were a girl? Is it?
Well, my gamer tag is Tank Girl, first of all. And there's so few girls playing. They're like, oh my God, are you a girl?
Ah, I see. Okay. Yep. Got it now. Thanks for the explanation. Appreciate it. Learning. Okay. I'm learning. Can you kind of break down where people can find you online?
Sure. So my solo music stuff is Wolf Tone. And then my booking and artist agency is Wolf Tone Artists. So that is what my tags are on Instagram and Facebook. I don't do Twitter. Don't like it.
Got it.
I'm old. I can't do it. So you can easily find me there. My email is wolftonephilly@gmail.com.
Got it. And are you open to collaborations at the moment, or waiting for better, or good?
I'm open to everything right now.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
And that email you just gave is the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to do something like that?
Sure is. They can do Facebook message too, but I just want everyone to know that that's not a professional form of communication.
Got it. Absolutely. Okay, so I asked this question to everyone that I interview, kind of towards the end here. What one piece of advice would you give your past self to give you an easier time getting to your goals today?
I would say your band director was wrong and you are good enough to make music your career.
Perfect.
And on top of that, band directors, don't ever tell your students that they're not good enough.
You know, I just had a memory of that, and I'm just going to go ahead and say thank you for saying that.
Sure.
Appreciate it. All right, so that kind of wraps up where we are today. I really appreciate you taking the time to get on Zoom and talk to me and answer these questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and may there be more music in 2021.
Amen. Absolutely. I also thank everybody who's watching. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and comment below. Smash that bell, subscribe for everything that we're putting out here on the Gable YouTube channel. If you liked what you saw today, if you had any other questions, if you want to see us talk to anyone else in particular in the music industry or any other industry that's related, let us know. Again, put it in the comments. But for now, we are done for the day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.